Alright, so I've been wanting to do a tip segment for a little while because there's not a whole lot of kayak fishing specific tips and information and stuff out there. There's info out there, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to just fishing in general, not a whole lot. So a lot of stuff that I have learned the hard way over the years, you can just learn right here. This first little tip that I'm going to throw out there is something that if I had known in the beginning, I would have saved myself a lot of heartache. So check this out. Hit the like button if you like it. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think if you actually find it useful. And I'll keep posting some of these up here and there. Check it out. So one of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit today, and who knows if I'm even going to catch any fish. I'm fishing a lake that I've fished it a couple of times. Only this end of the lake one time. It's big, so you're not covering the whole thing from one end. And it's pretty dirty. So I'm out here casting a chatterbait around, but I wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about something that I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about in kayak fishing, which is boat positioning. Right now I'm just kind of letting the wind blow me across. It's blowing me across and in towards all this vegetation a little bit. But you'll notice as I'm casting, well, right now I'm standing, so it's not really that big of a deal anyway. But if I were sitting down right now, so we'll go to sitting down. If I'm fishing from the seated position and I go to set the hook and I'm casting straight out in front of the boat, a lot of times what ends up happening, especially with a bait like a chatterbait where you got to sweep, is you hit the seat, or you hit your rods behind you if you're like me and you keep rods vertically stored. So I try to set myself up to be able to set the hook by casting off on angles. Always working angles instead of casting straight on in front of the boat. Now again, if you're fishing out in front of the boat while you're standing, not such a big deal. You can sweep that hook set pretty easily. But from a seated position, it's better to cast out anywhere from, like, I don't know, maybe like a 25 to a 90-degree angle. Sometimes maybe even behind the boat. Just make sure that you're in a position where you're not going to make an idiot out of yourself by just making a blind cast and snagging up some grass. Where you're going to be in a position to be able to set the hook comfortably without hitting the seat, without hitting your rods behind you, and be able to land more fish. I lost a lot of fish to poor hookups when I first started kayak fishing because I didn't ever think about boat positioning, really. And I mean, you think about it in the sense of like when you're lining up on a point to make your cast, where you think the fish are, how you need to present the bait, but a lot of times that's where it ends. We don't bring it all the way back to the boat and think about how that boat positioning is going to affect us the entire way in. So take that little tip and run with it.
Easily unsettling, constantly